Yes, sir. It is official, man. We are in the building, feeling like ye. If y'all don't know what this is, man, we just kind of just testing out new equipment and all of the above. Official podcast launches February 5th, 2026, y'all. Shut Up and Talk the podcast. If you heard me on the radio, you've heard us on other shows. Shut Up and Talk is going into their 10th year. And I just decided, it's time to switch things up. So we're going straight podcast, no limits, everything's uncensored, real raw. So what better way to be real raw than with none other than my fiance, Miss Nettie Martin,
Hello.
for a
For
couple more
now.
months. Yeah, yeah. Here's the crazy thing. You've actually never been on Shut Up and Talk, have you?
Yes.
When?
Um I was on Shut Up and Talk when you guys were in that little studio off Manal.
Oh, Duke City. Yeah, yeah. When we were on. So this how look. So again, 10 years, y'all. We're celebrating 10 years, 2026. When we first started, Shut Up and Talk started on Duke City Radio. Shout out to House that now has famous radio. Yeah, it was Duke City Radio. We were rocking with I think this might have been before Arrows came
It
along.
was before
Was
Arrows.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause Arrows, I believe, came in during like within that transition, and we
Yeah.
ended up leaving Duke City Radio and going into Arrows Independent Studios, and then went on, live radio broadcasts. And I mean, we've been 10 years doing this thing. However, I figure, you in the building, let's talk about, us or something that we can relate to. All right. And what I want to talk about is dating. All right. Let's talk about dating. Okay.
Bleh.
So,
Just
so first question all back, let me ask you, when it comes to dating I guess in the past, because I mean, I know we've been together, 10 years almost. God, good Lord. But what would you say was the biggest struggles or challenges when it came to dating?
dating you or dating
Let's say
you?
we'll start with in general. We'll get to me, but let's say in general, what would you say some of the difficulties of dating prior to meeting the love of your life?
For me
Yeah.
personally, I think accepting like dinner that somebody paying for dinner or paying for something.
Yeah, because this is a real independent woman in the sense of she'll go without before she asks for anything. Okay. And I've come to
Uh,
understand that. And so now, even now, we've been together a while now. You still don't ask. I almost have to make her accept help or make her let me take care of things, so to speak. And what would you say? Where did that come from?
um, well, I didn't see healthy relationships growing up, so I didn't really even know the process of dating,
Mm.
I guess.
I think that's part of, and I call it like ghetto. When I say ghetto, hood, so to speak, not like a good thing, but I think until you actually grow up, you're working and all the above. We see dating on TV, but most of us have never seen that. Even the
Yeah.
idea of
Well, it's
when
not realistic because we live in Albuquerque for one.
yeah,
Well, I
facts, represent Albuquerque, New
lived here
Mexico.
my
We
whole
out here.
life. Um, but here you don't get anything for free.
Yeah, yeah.
It's if I pay for this meal, you owe me.
No, you get that crab, girl. It's going
And
down.
I just didn't want to owe anybody.
And
So
I get that. That makes sense. I think also, like, when the idea of Netflix and chill, when it first came up, that wasn't, for a lot of us, that was dating, and not in a sense of we just want to go back to the house and get straight to, watching the TV alone. But no, like, most brothers, mind, first of all, I didn't have no daddy, okay? I wasn't raised with my dad. So there was no man showing me how to date. There was no man showing me how to, meet a girl, introduce myself, and invite her to go, to a restaurant. Nonetheless, a real date where you get dressed and open doors and get flowers on it. But for me, a date was, hey, what you doing? Let's kick it.
yeah.
Mind you, I've had an apartment since I was 17 years old. So the minute I was quote unquote grown, I'm like, hey, I got a spot. What we need to go to a restaurant for? I know how to cook. Mom's with me. So, but again, it wasn't the idea of on some freaky, like, hey, let's
Mhm.
get this Netflix and chill. It was on some, I know I can afford what's in my fridge. I know how to cook it and make it taste probably better than the restaurant. So, and I think for a lot of dudes, and again, I'm talking about men, y'all. I'm not talking about boys. I'm not talking about the ones, because some folks definitely was all about the Netflix and chill series for a reason, because that's all they was trying to do. But for some of us, it wasn't like the player aspect. It was really like, okay, this is something I know I can handle. Not to mention, you go to some of these restaurants, man. First of all, let me tell y'all something if you don't know. the grown-up me now understands if you go to a restaurant and open a menu and it doesn't have a price next to what you want, that's the first sign you probably shouldn't be there, okay? If you can't afford to order things without knowing what they cost, you shouldn't be in that restaurant ordering it. All right, fellas? That's the tip of the day, okay? First thing, when you see that, Mayday, don't even get an appetizer, all right? However, if you stay, understand that you're about to spend a couple hundred, if not more. You're going to spend some bucks. So, I think the other thing is when you're dating, you really don't know it. So, I've heard women say, I know even if you know that as a woman, we don't know that as a man that's trying to date you. We don't know if you're worth this filet mignon, okay?
I think that's misconstrued by some people. Knowing your worth and charging people are two different things. So I know my worth, and I know I need to walk away from certain situations or treatment.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't expect for you to pay for my lifestyle. That's not knowing your worth.
Well, it's just like, the big thing, it came out not too long, about a year ago, I guess now, where the ladies came out with a list. And it was a list of, y'all probably hear my dog, okay? All right, that's my security dog, okay? He checking the perimeter right now. But I remember ladies came out with a list of restaurants you bet not take them to. And I thought, first of all, this is crazy bold. And this shows you like what kind of world we live in today, because for a woman to tell a man, if you want to date me, you better not, like literally almost threatening, like you better not take me here. That's crazy. Now I get it. We have daughters, and one thing we're raising them is to know their worth and understand. But in the same breath, we teach them to have humility. That's very big. And for you to tell a man he can't take you to certain places before you even get to know him, before he knows you, before he even knows if he wants to date you, because that first date is really a trial and error. Either y'all gonna hit it off, and then it's like, man, now I want to take her to special place and all that, or it's like, nah, I ain't feeling none of this, all right? But for you to come off the gate before he even say, "What do you want to go out with me?" and say, "You better." I think one of them was like Applebee's and Chili's.
Well, that's what I said. Like it gets misconstrued because worth shouldn't be equal to like monetary value. A person's that's basically you selling yourself.
Prostitution. I'm sorry. Look, ladies.
My worth. Well, the way that I look at my worth and the way that I've raised our daughters to look at their worth is through loyalty, through honesty, through the way somebody speaks to you, how they treat you in public.
Yeah.
Right? Not what they can provide for you or do for you.
Well, because I think that's when you borderline. And mind you, we got a lot of unofficial prostitutes in the world today. I'm gonna call it like I see it, and I don't care if y'all get mad, ladies. But if you are literally setting a standard where you're telling men you have to take me here, do this, pay for this, or I'm not dating you. Okay, that's what prostitutes do. Or escorts, excuse me. I'm going to call you a prostitute. Escorts, okay? A man pays for her time, and a man knows part of that time he has to do certain things. She's made requirements. You're going to spend this. Hey, y'all, just so y'all know, okay? We got 6 kids, okay? And yes, 4 of them are in this house right now, okay? So yeah, we're trying to do this little podcast thing, right? And we're trying to, we check it. We getting everything set up, okay? That's why we're doing this. Yeah. They still here, okay? Believe it or not, all right? Look, this is how we date, okay? Because kids in the next room. Shut up. Y'all see me on the podcast. Oh, how y'all doing? Now, hey, real quick, I want to shout out one of our sponsors, Real Best Sleep, y'all. If y'all looking for a new mattress, y'all looking for furniture, you want to get hooked up, make sure y'all check out Real Best Sleep, all right? It's going down. It's actually in Albuquerque, New Mexico, okay? Shout out to Cali Flay, a.k.a. Daddy Mo Bucks, one of the founders and creators doing this damn thing, okay? But for more information, man, make sure y'all hit us up, all right? Real's Best Sleep in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I believe they're about to open up a new location in California. So we're real wild with this thing. But anyways, back to this dating, okay, ladies? There's a way you can be sure of yourself. There's a way you can know your worth without making your worth a transaction. Then it becomes borderline prostitution. I'm sorry,
Well, if you're expecting to go to expensive restaurants and you're expecting to be financially compensated,
that part. Come on, the one chick had
you better make your time worthwhile, man.
I heard where the chick had a dude meet her at a nail salon.
Oh, I seen that.
Literally, check it out, y'all. So told her, first date, they hooked up, met on one of the little apps. He shows up. He's there. She's telling him, hey, get your feet done too while we're here. And he's like, okay, cool. There's something different, but he enjoying it. Then he overhears the lady bragging about how he's going to pay for everything. Now, mind you, they've only talked online prior to this. So when he overhears her bragging about how he's going to pay for it, and then she asked for something that costs like hundreds of dollars, he went and said, you know what? While we're here, you should get the gold treatment, okay? When it was all said and done, he had her get stuff that went up to, I think it was almost $2,500 worth of services at a nail salon. Hands, feet, toes, probably got some boogers, whatever. The works. And then while she was having a good time getting all that done, he slid out the door, left her with the bill. And I'm like, as you should. Because first of all, that's foul. You don't know what that man's pockets look like. And for you to set him up to have to spend thousands, but even hundreds of dollars before he even got to shake your hand, I would do the same thing. That's foul, and that's when it becomes borderline prostitution. All right, the rappers. I love my rappers. I rock with it. I'm hip hop today. So one of the things you always heard, I think Lil Wayne was one of the first to say it, if not T.I. That might be an argument right there, but it ain't tricking if you got it. I've always hated that because I'm like, it's tricking, period. However, when you think about it, if you're a good dude, you meet a good woman, you want to take her out. You take her to a nice restaurant. Even me, I'm the type of dude is, when we first start kicking it, dating, hey, it's on me. If I got it, we doing it. I'm not going to invite you out if I can afford it, period. That's the first thing. But if I do, wherever we go, it's nothing. But if within that first couple days or weeks, even months, you start complaining about bills, and you start talking about, oh, well, I'm be short this, and I didn't get this, and you start talking about money, that's when I start acting real funny. Because to me, what you're trying to do is, ladies, and ain't nobody stupid, you're trying to check the temperature. You want to see if he gonna spend on you. My thing is, if I don't know you yet and we ain't really decided if we're gonna be a us, I'm not spending no money on you, like helping you with your bills and all that. Because that's, as an adult, that's your business. Your kids are your business. Everything you got going on, y'all women that's going on dates and getting extra to go place for your kids back home, that's crazy. That's crazy. You better call their daddy. That's just how I feel about it. When we first start dating. Now, once I'm locked in, you mine's, part of me saying you mine's is everything that's yours also is mine. So, of course, I'm going to take care of them kids. Then it's nothing. But when we first dated, ladies, your first date, you making a dude buy to-go plates for your kids back home, man, first of all, they better know how to cook. I'm just saying, because if you don't and they don't, we got bigger problems. But that's when it becomes, and I know, ladies, you hate the word, that's ghetto, that's hood right there, but that's how we doing today. Now we got a white screen. But that's what ends up happening.
Half and half.
There you go. Look, it's what is that, yin and yang? But that's when dudes start looking at you like, for real, okay, this is whole activities, and then they start putting you on a different pedestal. And it's a lower one. They stop looking at you like the woman you may be, and they start looking at you like, okay, well, if she wants to act like, escortish, then I'm gonna start treating her like that. And that's when you get men, and our boys, whatever you want to call it, demanding certain things. That's when they start feeling like you owe them certain things, whether it be sexual or just how you treat them, what you're doing for them, all of the above, because you've now made it a transactional thing. It went from being just, hey, we kicking it, getting to know each other, to now, since it's transactional, hey, I'm going to go for mine too. Let's get it how we live. So, ladies, if you really want a man to respect you, first thing you do is always have your pocketbook, okay? What do I mean? Always have your little purse, okay? And make sure you got money in that purse, okay? That way, even if hopefully, a good dude takes you on a date, he gonna spend, he gonna pay for that date. But if he doesn't, you already got it. You don't need him to do nothing. Then don't go above and beyond. Ladies, if you know you ain't never had no crab or filet mignon, don't start ordering that stuff just because he taking you out when it's on him. Order what you like, all right? Go get you some top ramen. Tell him put a couple, hot dogs in that bad boy. Same thing you made before you went on that date. Keep it raw. But in the same breath, I think that's where we fail. That's where ladies fail. So it is what it is.
I think our first date was to Menchie.
Yeah. Just ice cream, a frozen yogurt. But again, for me, it was about getting to know you, and that's the other thing.
Like, and I think we took our first date like weeks after we.
We was already we was locked in. Just so you know, just for the record, the first night we kicked it. After that night we kicked it for months straight. All right, it was we was inseparable. But I mean, that's why we here today. But what I believe is it doesn't matter where you go. Like, that's what I'm like. These women saying, don't take me to Applebee's, don't take me to Chili's. If it's a good woman or man, got a good personality, you have a good conversation, the most minimal locations can seem like, oh my God, that was so magical. That was so dope.
Sorry. I'm super frugal. So I hate to spend money. So I'm all for a 2 for 25.
Look, man, look, get it how you live. Look.
Now you are opposite. You
See, yeah, I grew up in the ghetto, in the hood. I didn't have a steak or like crab probably till I was 19, 20 years old. So I didn't none of that. You know, it was at barbecues, hot dogs, and hamburgers. I didn't know nothing about no steak, no hot links. So now I get all of the above. But once I became grown and started working and getting my own, I'm like, I go out of my way. Now my kids, they spoil.
Oh, they love some sushi.
Ain't nothing more embarrassing. Look, when your 7 and 8 year old is trying, but I want crab tonight. It's very embarrassing because it's like, man, I thought you struggled. I did. I don't struggle no more. Thank you. Hallelujah. But in the same breath, it's like, for me, ladies, you got to get out the, and I'm talking to ladies because I know y'all the main ones with these demands. You don't hear a lot of men saying a woman got to do this, this, and this, or I ain't messing with her. You know, we a little different. Now, we might have that thought in our head, and we know certain things we ain't going to put up with, but we're not going to say that publicly. We're not going to make a list. But here's the thing. It's not about anything the man does. If you're serious and trying to get to know him and you're really looking for someone you can spend the rest of your life with, then the first step is it's all about communication. It's all about personality. It's about getting to know them. Do you guys have chemistry? Do you have things in common? Talk about, you know, within that first couple of dates, you got to talk about how you feel when it comes to religion, all right? Yeah. And I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person.
Well, are we talking to like 30 and up?
I mean, we grown, so yeah.
Because I feel like 20-year-olds should be having different conversations.
Oh, yeah. Look, I'm grown. I don't know about I was 20 years ago, okay?
I wasn't.
All right, I see where you at with it. Okay. Let's go.
I'm not there yet.
Hater, y'all see what I got to deal with?
But I mean, I work with, a few of the young men there have asked me about like dating older girls. Because I mean, there's seniors there that are 18 already.
When I was 17, crazy story. I dated a 33-year-old.
Well, so that was one of the questions was, is it inappropriate? And
hell yeah.
So, well, he wasn't like 30. He didn't say 30. He said, is it okay for me to date like a 25-year-old? He said, and he just turned 18. So
I think it's healthy.
I said no.
Okay, why not?
Because 25 and up, I feel like already have lived their college life. They've gotten out their party. So at 25, you're either graduating from college, you've already figured out what career path you want, you've already decided whether you want to be married and have children and all those things. So if you're dating an 18-year-old whose brain isn't all the way developed or hasn't had those same experiences,
still low.
Well, your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25.
So here's what I say, and I'll be honest, it's selfish because first of all, fellas, if you're 18 dating a woman that's 25, first of all, you're not going to end up with her. You guys, This is an experience, and it's selfish because it's good for the man because she's going to raise you up. She's going to make you upgrade. She's going to make you more mature. She's going to make you step up to the level of a 25-year-old. So for the man, the next woman after her is going to love you. You're going to be a better man for her. However, for the women, like you said, it's more like, it's like puppy love. I think women that date younger men like that, if you're 25, date 18-year-old, you want it because you want a little boy toy.
Well, yeah. And I my advice was like, no, because they're going to hinder you from living your best life. Basically, you're not going to be able to experience certain things because
they're going to get in some clubs.
You're going to want to be hanging out with your friends. Your friends are going to be going to college parties, and then you have this 25-year-old that's like, I'm not going to hang out with them kids, so then you can't go, and so it's hindering you from having life experience.
See, but again, I was a different beast. Like I said, I had my own apartment at 17, so by 18, I'm all established. I had my brother's IDs, so I was able to get in all the little 21 and over spots. So I was definitely living ahead of my time, so to speak.
Me too. But I had a baby when I was 19.
Yeah, you was like. But again, I'll say this: looking back on it now, and people always say, "What if that was your child?" Mind you, I got a 23-year-old son now. Would I want my 18-year-old son dating someone 25 or 30? Hell no, don't do it because. Like she said, enjoy your college years. Even if you don't...
I would sabotage.
Look, even if you never go to college, men and women, you need to have your college experience. And what I call that's that 18 to about 25. That stretch of just having a good time, having fun,
Going out with
living
your
carefree,
friends,
maybe dating.
traveling.
Look, and I'll tell you, for my sons now, let me be very clear. I don't encourage my sons down to be no hoes. I don't encourage them to go sleep around, nothing like that. But I do encourage them to date more than one woman. I encourage them to, like, you need to literally get out there, experience different type of women and girls and different relationships and different
They're not
experiences.
gonna date. They're gonna hang out.
There you go. Yeah,
Like,
not necessarily a date, but
we're
yeah.
gonna change vocabulary. Well, because dating, you date somebody with the intention of being with them.
You are correct.
So, I think we change the word. Like, if you're hanging out with your friend, like,
Yeah,
so then
yeah.
you know,
Socially.
there's no expectation. Well, it's just because I know girls, and girls, when you say you're dating, they automatically think you're in a relationship,
and that's locked down.
So if we can teach our sons to use different language, so there's no expectation there.
Look, she's smart, y'all. She's smart. Y'all see why I locked it in.
We're not gonna hurt. We're not gonna raise children that hurt other people.
That part.
And
that's the biggest thing is, I want like I said, I want my sons to experience it as well as my daughters. I want them to get out and meeting different people, especially before they settle down and say, this is what I like. This is what I want to be with, this type of person. You don't know that if you haven't experienced others. If you haven't, and I'm not talking sexually, y'all. I'm talking about actually kicking it, getting to know each other, different personalities, seeing what they like. Earlier, I talked about, within the first couple of dates, having that religious talk. What do they believe in? For you to date, for a Christian to date a Muslim, that's a lot. There's different beliefs, and then if they're Catholic,
and then you have to bring families. It becomes
sadly, a lot of folks don't even know people's beliefs till after they have a child, and then they're stuck because they're trying to dedicate the baby and they want to go splash the baby in what I like to call a little baby drowning, little sprinkles, whatever, But everybody's different, and if you don't have those conversations ahead of time and find out, what do you think? What do you believe in? Hey, how do you feel about, different things in the world? If y'all don't have that, even as far as red and blue, okay? We've been together a very long time. One thing we know, if we want to get real passionate and piss each other off, is let's talk politics, okay? Now, even though we have a lot of the same core values, because of my upbringing, I always say I could never be a police officer because my morals are. Like, I'm not arresting somebody that just stole stuff out of Walmart if it's groceries and things of that nature, And so some of my core values are not values of a good man, so to speak, or even a good woman for that sense. It's just the way I was raised, the way I seen things. So some of the things I believe in are based on that experience. Whereas she had a different experience. So her kind of, not necessarily belief system, because again, our core values remain the same.
Wow, I was raised by somebody in law enforcement.
That part. Well, see, that's the first thing. Mind you, I was raised not to trust police. She was raised by the police, okay, basically. So even that, I mean, and I always say, for folks, when you're settling down, I hate when people say, oh my God, we're so alike. We're the same person. You won't make it. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm sorry. Most couples, if they are the same person, eventually they're going to get tired of themselves.
Well, I feel like anybody that knew you 10 years ago would look at you now and be like, oh yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Because I think we challenge each other to be
better. I like your word. I like challenge each other, but I'll be honest, you didn't do this to me, but the way I felt, it wasn't a challenge. You demanded. Funny enough, I said this to your sister the other night. You demanded more of me. You demanded excellence. You demanded I stepped up. You didn't tolerate the person I was then. You didn't, and even from day one, you was like, that radio dude, I don't know him. I'm not worried about him. She was like, I ain't never listened to your radio show. And for the longest she did, I still don't think she listened,
I do when my phone's not connecting to Bluetooth.
See how she does. The support is real. But I think that's what made that's how we were able to grow together, because for me, I seen value in you and in me being with you. So I had to step up. And it was look, we said 10 years, y'all. I'll be honest. Don't think this happened overnight, and don't think, look, I'm an amazing person today, okay? But there's a lot, I'm sure, people that are probably watching this right now, like that dirt bag, they probably throwing targets and everything else, needles at this thing. There's plenty of people that probably hated who I was and the things I did to them at that time. However, you grow. I say, it's like sending someone to jail. You want them to be rehabilitated. Sound like I said that wrong. Anyways, you want them to change. You want to see them grow. You want to see them become, better than they were. The reality is, in order to grow and to change, to become the person you're truly meant to be, you got to go through things. The thing we all do, both men and women in today's society, is we don't take the time and stop dating or stop kicking with individuals and focus on us. We don't do that. We don't take the time and say, I'm not dating anybody. I'm taking some me time so I can figure me out. Instead, we do it while we're in relationships. We do it while we're dating other people, while we're trying to figure out what we want, what we like and don't. We're doing it with somebody up under us. And so in the process, usually you end up hurting that person because you're still trying to figure out who you are. And it goes both ways, not just the man, but the women do the same thing. They're still trying to figure out what they like and who they are. And in the process, a man might get hurt in the way. Fellas, let's be honest. We can be the biggest players and go from girl to girl with nothing. But we find out the woman we kicking with doing the same thing. Oh, Lord Jesus, how could
that
you?
That didn't happen.
Oh, yeah. Hell no. That's my morals is different, okay? But no, I think the reality is somebody said it to me very plain. I was on tour, true story, on tour with a 90s rap artist at the time. We're headed to a new state, and I'm bragging about the last stop. I'm bragging about how much fun I had and everything I did. At the time, I was in a relationship. The dude that's driving, our driver, literally out of nowhere just says, hey, bro. He laughed. He's like, yeah, you killing it. He said, what if your girl was at home doing the same thing? And when I say my heart dropped, and he almost got fired. I almost said, pull over, bro. You got to go. But no, it was literally a moment where I had to really check myself. Like, dang, while you out here bragging about your escapades and everything you doing, what if your woman that thinks you just out here getting money was doing the exact same thing? And and I'll be honest, it took a minute before I actually tried to really change, but that was the start of it. When I started thinking, flip this, what if she was doing the same thing I'm doing? That's when it's like, ouch. Because fellas, as we know, we can dish it out, but Lord knows we can't take it. And we poodles. Like women, y'all might cry a little bit and stuff, but I feel like y'all way stronger than dudes. When a dude gets hurt, or if a dude gets cheated on, man, we turn into poodles. We mad. We want to we do everything women try to do. We want to cut up your stuff. We want to bleach it. We hurt. We crying. How could you, man? I'm telling my mama. I'll let you meet my grandma. Like we be going all in, and it be our fault. She laughed. Look, I'm getting just thinking about it, fellas. My heart goes out to you. Okay, if you still out there wilding, I challenge you. I challenge you to ask yourself one question. What if she was doing the same thing I'm doing? Could you handle it? And if you know you couldn't, then it's time to make some changes, man. I'm just saying, that's my word of the day. All right, that's my man up for the podcast. All right, let's go. What would you say, man? What would you say was out of your years of kicking it and hanging out or whatever, what was the biggest lesson that you learned when it came to relationships?
Just in general, or with you?
Mm-hmm. No, we'll get to me later. In general.
In general, honestly, the lesson I learned was that I had no idea how to be in a relationship, and how I didn't know how to contribute to a relationship in a positive way or whatever. I always seen us as two different people, and obviously when I had Layla,
that's our oldest girl. She 18 now.
When I had Layla, I just went into mom mode, like straight mom mode, and I don't think that I ever knew how to be somebody's spouse.
That's deep, but that makes sense.
How to.
Well, again, I think the way, especially like with me, I grew up without a father. Okay, when you grow up missing certain points, there's some people that are blessed that grow up in a house with a father and a mother, and they're both on point. They work jobs, so you get the whole full experience, the American dream, if you will. Then there's others, like myself, that we don't get that. So there's things we miss. There's things we're never taught. There's things we have to learn on our own. For me, I was raised by 3 big brothers. So my 3 brothers raised me, but we basically raised each other because anything we learned, it was trial and error. We go try something. If it worked, hey, y'all got to start doing that. If it didn't, hey, don't do that again. But we didn't really know right from wrong. We didn't know, even when it came to treating women, we didn't know how to do it. It was just like, hey, my brother would come home. Man, she loved when I said this to her, did this. Cool. We all got to try that. And we knew, look, R&B. Shout out to Jodeci, Boys to Men. Look, back in the day, just to show you how old I am, when they used to have the tapes, and you open the tape and it had the words to the songs. I remember I would sit on the phone. This is like this is like ninth grade. I would sit on the phone and literally be quoting, reading Boys to Men. And mind you, she didn't know it was Boys to Men, but I'm literally like saying the words to the song. And she's like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And it's literally the lyrics. But hey, that's what we had to do back in the day. We didn't know no better.
And now we call our children and do that.
Yeah. Hey, some change, some remain the same. Hey, man, I want to say this. I appreciate y'all for joining us, those that have. If y'all like it, share it. Hey, this is nothing compared to what's coming your way, man. February 5th, we launched the official podcast with all new shows, all new segments. We have a huge guest for one of our first shows, man. It'll be nothing like this. We're going to the full podcast studio, but this is just a little teaser, man. Make sure y'all share, like, and subscribe, and get ready, y'all, because it's going down. 2026 is a whole new year. Shut up and talk, 10 years running. Let's go. This Miss Nettie. I'm LB Johnson. I holla.